Welcome to the Preeminence Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew J. Peters, founder of Ascend. Be sure to grab your ultimate guide to preeminence at preeminence.tv. Today we're talking about concentric interlaced realities. So tune in, listen up, and get ready to take a focused action on your message, mission, and presence to create accelerated results starting right now. Today we're talking about something kind of deep. Concentric interlaced realities. This came to me actually in a dream. I was dreaming and I was having a discussion with some being, and I remember waking up and that was what we were talking about, was concentric interlaced realities. And it wasn't until about a year later I realized what this was. And I'm going to be talking about this in the film The United State of Mind and how that applies to the future of unity in diversity. That's going to be an upcoming film that we're producing right now. But let's talk about, on this podcast, what this has to do with you. Concentric interlaced realities has to do with you and the reality that you're living in. You see, when I go home to my family, I am going back to Wisconsin. My sister and her husband and her two daughters, they have a reality, and when I talk with them, their reality is very different than mine. When I talk with my mom and dad and their reality, it doesn't match mine anymore. You know, when we lived together, we're in that small, tight-knit group as a family, everything was the same. We all shared that reality. And yet, when we move apart, these concentric circles, imagine moving apart, and now we have less and less that overlap. They're in one part of the country. I'm on the other part of the country. They have their group of friends. I have my group of friends. They go to their church and they practice their religious things. I practice what I practice. And when we get together, there's less and less in common. But when we're all together, when we live that way, we have this commonality. So the reality that I have, the reality that you have, you chose. If you want to change it, you need to get into a different circle. So this has to do with creating the reality that you want. Now, if you tell me that I want to live in a big house, I want to have a $10 million business, I want to have these types of friends and influence these types of people, I want to create this organization in the world, I have to ask you right now, are you showing that in your life right now? Is there any part of you that is in that right now? Or is that in an outside reality, and you're trying to get there somehow? The only way you're going to create that reality in your future is to bring more and more of that overlapping into your reality now. The only difference between what's going on in your life right now and this future you think you want to create, which you like the idea of, but you're not actually doing the actions, is you need to do more and more of those things right now. Whatever it is you want to be in the future, you need to embody that. You need to get close to it right now. You need to be around those people now. You say, well, I haven't earned the right. You need to get as close of a position as you possibly can to where you want to be in your future. The only thing that separates you from that future you want is not time. Most people look at it as time because it's literally the time of your growth and dropping the old, taking on new, and being around the right people. You hear them say birds of a feather flock together, or you're an average of the 5 people you hang around. That is so true. If you want to be somebody different, you need to be the person, then do the things that type of person does to have the things that you say you want to have. That could be influence, that could be money, that could be living in a house, living and having this kind of business, whatever it is you say you want. There's a big difference between liking the idea of having something versus doing the work and putting yourself in the position for those things to happen. Concentric interlaced realities. They're interlaced. If you are in the presence of your children, they have their life and their reality at school. They have the things that they understand in their reality. You have, as an adult, you have the things that you understand, the people you hang around with, and it's interlaced. That's our relationships. And the concentric circles are, as we go out, we may have acquaintances, we may know a person's name, we may have read their book, and it gets further and further out. Their reality is not our reality. But the closer we can get in proximity to them, the more we can integrate their teachings, their conversations, getting in their mastermind groups, getting under their tutelage, becoming mentored by them, getting in their inner circle, integrating their ways of thinking, their ways of living, their ways of being into your life. That is how you're going to become that. There's no magical step of you saying, boy, I want to have a $10 million business and I want to have 60 employees or whatever it is. And I want to have all these things. I want to live in this neighborhood. How far are you away from that neighborhood right now? How close can you get to that neighborhood? Who do you know in that neighborhood? Have you even gone into that neighborhood, gone through the houses, talked to real estate agents, even though it may be 5 times what you are now spending on a house? Are you even there? Can you even hold a conversation with those people? If I put you in a room, you say, I want to be on Ellen DeGeneres' show, or I want to be on Oprah's radio network. If we put you in a room with them, would you even be able to have a conversation? I heard this from Garrett J. White. He had said that you are not even ready to have a conversation with those people. You haven't put yourself in the position to think like they do. You don't understand even how they think, so you will never be there. Your action step on your path to preeminence is to integrate, to get in the inner circles of the people that you want to be in. Get in those organizations. If the people you want to be associated with, if you want to be like, support specific organizations, civic groups, or what have you, get into those. Start volunteering there. Do whatever you can to start mimicking the types of decisions and the type of person they are. So there's enough to be said about the mindset. There's enough to be said about doing the actions, but you need to put yourself in proximity to the future you want to create. If you keep it at a distance, it will always be a distance from you. You will always be chasing that carrot unless you get in the presence of the people who are doing and acting and being the way you want to live, be, and have. That's all I have for you today. Make sure you take actions, get in the presence of those you want to be like, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. This daily podcast is all about you becoming the preeminent voice in your marketplace. So take the consistent and necessary action each and every day on what you've learned over the last few minutes. When, not if, when you're ready to take your business, your organization, your name, your brand, and your commitment to the level of preeminence, head on over to preeminence.tv where you can download your own copy of the Ultimate Guide to Preeminence, enroll in the Elevation program, and join us on one of our next live events. If you're not subscribed, simply visit iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play right now and click subscribe. Until tomorrow, make today and each and every day count towards creating preeminence in your space and a legacy that matters.